Hey everyone, welcome to part 4 of this trophy guide and walkthrough for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Thanks for coming on this journey with me, and a special thank you to all the channel members. Now let's get started by going forward until we get into a fight.
Did Noko tell you anything more about the village, other than red trees everywhere?
Noko's not great with specifics.
We'll just have to think like Gestrals then.
This is the battle against one Portier, one Bruler, and one Luster, all enemies that we fought before, so it should be pretty easy. Starting off with Gustav, we'll go into free aim mode and we're going to hit the weak point of that Bruler, and we can put a couple of shots into the Luster as well. The free aim shots activated Gustav's versatile Pictos, so now he'll do bonus damage with his base attack. Let's go ahead and use that against the Luster and take him down. Then we'll have Lune use her free aim shot to attack the weak point of the Portier, taking away about half of its health, and then we're going to have her use her immolation skill against the Bruler, and that will also light him on fire. And now Maelle can follow that up with using her base attack against that Bruler, and that should be enough to take him down. If not, then the burn certainly will. That just leaves the Portier, who is pretty easy to either dodge or parry. I just chose to dodge here, but a parry might have been strong enough to actually take him down. And now with Gustav, we can have him just use a normal attack. We'll have Lune use a normal attack as well. And now you've got a couple options here with Maelle. You could either normal attack, or you could use Spark to inflict the burn, or you can just use Pierce, and it should be enough to take him down. After the battle, we'll get our rewards, including what looks like a new weapon, but it's actually just an upgrade to a weapon we already have. The Brulerum has gone from level 3 up to level 4, and we didn't have to spend any resources to level it up, because sometimes your weapons will be able to level up just through fighting. The Brulerum was the weapon that we already had equipped on Maelle, so we don't have to re-equip it. It automatically gets that upgrade. And then from there, we're going to head over toward the northwest, and we're going to go into the large portal near the Red Forest. And this is going to take us into a new area called the Ancient Sanctuary.
That's a lot of red trees to search.
They must have some sort of track or trail leading to the village.
Wait, I hear something. It might be Nevrons. Be careful, okay?
Starting off, we're going to move forward up to the expedition flag and then use it. Since the last time we upgraded our attributes, Maelle leveled up, so let's go back into the upgrade attributes, and we're going to assign our 3 more attribute points into Might. That will raise her total up to 36. We definitely need the extra attack power because the next enemy that we have to fight, we have to kill pretty quickly or it will run away. We're going to approach this next enemy that looks like a rock with the glowing blue circle in it, kind of from the front right side, and it's going to run away from us when we get close. We want it to run up this ramp over the log, and then that will take it to its safe spot, which is in the back. It's kind of this glowing circle on the ground. And once it's there, then we can initiate a first strike attack, and we'll be able to fight this enemy called a Pétank. As you can see, he starts off with 5 shields, so we want to get rid of these as quickly as possible so that we can start doing damage to it and kill it before it runs away. While Lumiere Assault will get rid of all 5 of those shields because it hits 5 times, we don't want to do that. Instead, we'll just do a normal attack. And now with Maelle's turn, we're going to have her use her ability Breaking Rules to destroy all those shields, and she'll gain AP for everyone that she destroys. It's Lune's turn, and we definitely want to slow this enemy down so it doesn't take as many turns, and we can use Ice Lance to accomplish that. The enemy's turn got pushed way back, and now it's Gustav's turn again, and we're going to have him use Marking Shot to inflict a mark on the enemy. Now, because the enemy's marked, you probably should use Pierce because it's going to do a ton of damage to him, but I decided to go with the Fleurette Fury route to build up more of its break gauge. Breaking the enemy is a good way to stun them so that they don't run away from battle. And now it's Lune's turn again. I don't have a whole lot of AP, so I can't really use a skill. I'll just use a normal attack instead. Now the enemy finally gets to move. It's going to regain 3 of its shields, and then it's also going to attack. It can either gather up stones for a melee attack and shoot them at you all at once. That one's pretty easy to dodge if you just watch the timing of all those rocks coming together, or it will lob multiple rocks at you and your different party members. I wanted to take out those shields, so we just did some free aim shots against him, and now we can use marking shot again. I don't have a ton of AP with Maelle. In fact, I only have enough to use offensive switch, but that's okay because that will also inflict defenseless against him, so he'll be taking more damage, which is good for us. Lune can use immolation to inflict a burn for some additional damage. Well, the enemy regains 6 shields, but that burn is going to take 1 of those away, leaving him with 5. It then gets to attack, so make sure you dodge it. And now the enemy plans to flee in 2 of its turns, but luckily it's going pretty slow, so we have many turns on our side before it gets to do that. We'll take a couple more shots with Gustav to get rid of some of those shields, then we can attack it normally to take away another one and regain a little AP. And then with Maelle, we're going to have her use breaking rules in order to get rid of the rest of the shields and gain some more AP. Also, because the enemy was defenseless, we get to play again immediately, so a quick physical attack will be enough to finish him off. We get quite good rewards for defeating this guy, enough experience for Gustav and Lune to level up. We also get almost 4,000 chroma, as well as many good items, such as polished chroma catalyst, recoat, and colors of Lumina. After that fight, we're going to turn toward the left, and then we're going to run straight ahead until we can grab the Pictos off the ground. This is Energizing Jump, giving us +1 AP on jump counterattack. We'll then run back to where we fought the Pétank, across the bridge, and then we'll turn left. Stick toward the left side and go just to the left of this large cliff face, and that will lead you around the corner, and there's some handholds here that we can use to go down to the lower left area. Once we're down there, we'll turn around and we can grab another Pictos off the ground for Burning Mark. Apply burn on hitting a marked enemy. Now we'll use those handholds to climb back up. Once you're back at the top, then follow that cliff face around toward the left and then go up the ramp. As you proceed forward along the path, there's going to be a new NPC over here called a young boy. Let's go talk to him. Another expedition. 33. Who are you? Me? A dream, an illusion. I don't really remember what I did all of this for. I miss laughing with everyone. Who are you talking about? What were their names? Why do I forget? Everything is washed away. The boy has gone silent. Now we'll turn around and we're going to run through this little canyon until we get a cutscene.
Wow.
That's a lot of dead Nevrons.
Who did?
I don't see
I
any.
think they mean us.
They must be Gestrals. They're cute, but they're idiots.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
Hey, we're not Nevrons!
Here we have a boss fight against robust Sakapatate. It'll begin with the first attack. Watch out for 3 swings, a little pause, and then a slam. The enemy begins with 3 shields, and if you look very closely at the enemy's right shoulder, which is on our left side of the screen, it's actually glowing, and that means it's a weak point. If we can shoot that a few times, it'll actually destroy the arm, meaning it won't be able to attack us with that anymore. I didn't have a good angle to shoot it with Gustav, but I was able to take out its shields and then do a normal attack. With Lune, we've got a little bit of a better shot here. It's still kind of close. You might have to wait to see that the arm moves a little bit and exposes itself before you can actually get a good hit. And you'll see that the right arm is damaged. You'll actually get a notification of that, and you'll have to hit it 3 times for it to blow up. I've gotten 2 hits so far, and then Lune attacks. With Maelle, we actually probably have the best shot here from this angle, so we'll hit it 1 more time. It'll blow up, doing significant damage to the enemy's health bar, and now it can't attack us with that, but it still does have the shield. And now with Maelle, we'll use Spark to deal some damage and to burn it. If the enemy slams its shield, it's a pretty quick animation, but if the timing's right, you can parry it and do an expedition counter, which would be pretty powerful. Otherwise, just dodge it. When the enemy raises its shield, it's preparing to counterattack you, which can be a little bit hard to dodge because it's very fast. If you want to play it safe, you can just skip your turn. You'll still gain AP on your turn beginning, and the enemy will still burn. Well, we didn't get counterattacked because we passed our turns, then we just have to dodge another attack, and the enemy sets itself up again for a counterattack. And this time I'll show you what that actually looks like and how fast the timing is. With Gustav, we're going to use a new skill that I haven't showed off before, and that's going to be Shatter. We'll hit R2, and then we'll press X because it's down at the bottom. This will do a lot of damage, but not quite enough to kill him at this point, so you'll get to see that counterattack. Now here comes that counterattack. If it connects, it's going to stun all of your party members, which is not good. Luckily, the burn damage was enough to take him out, but he'll have a final death attack, and that will attack your whole party. Just be sure to dodge that. Most enemies in this area are going to have attacks like that, where when you defeat them, you'll have to dodge one final attack.
Don't worry. We don't want to hurt you, Patat. Noko sent us.
Sakapatate. Oh, de noko te kepate. Oh, hati noko ke parkadebe Sakapatate.
If you guide us to your village...
Lero maricor. Okay, Lil. Pero que mi bo Sakapatat. Ni sugama bi de virageo.
Guide us to your village and maybe he'll make you something better.
Wait, what are you...
Keri Sakakipo?
Trust me. I hate liars.
Okay, Lil. Kama vive leko gami Sakapatat. Y komi waro putu.
You're better with gestrals than humans.
They're less complicated.
After the fight and a cutscene, we'll get a new weapon for Gustav called the Sekarum. It does 111 base damage, and it also scales with agility and luck. It's a bit stronger than the weapon that we currently have equipped, so let's go ahead and equip that Sekarum. This was also the 4th battle that we had some Pictos equipped, so now we've officially mastered Versatile, Staggering Attack, and Rewarding Mark. Let's move forward straight ahead so that we can use the Expedition flag. Both Gustav and Lune leveled up fairly recently, so let's go to upgrade attributes, and we'll put 3 more points into might for Gustav and 3 more points into might for Lune, raising both of their totals up to 39. You can then rest, and then we're going to carry on going down the path just toward the left of where the expedition flag was. And then we're going to stick over toward the right hand side running around, and then we'll turn right, and then we're going to go through a crawl space into another area. Now keep going toward the right through the little tunnel, and on the other side you'll stick toward the right path again, and you'll be able to pick up some chroma on the ground.
Nice.
After that, turn around, hug that right wall as you go around the corner, and there's going to be another enemy walking around here. Let's go ahead and fight him. This is the fight against 2 new enemy types, the Ranger Sakapatate on the left side of the screen, and the Catapult Sakapatate on the right side of the screen. The Catapult has a weak point up by the top of its body where it's glowing. 3 shots will be enough to destroy that, and now it can't do its more powerful attack. The Ranger also has a weak point on its shoulder, but that takes 5 shots in order to destroy and break off its cannon arm. Enemies around here are also weak to fire damage, so you can use skills like Immolation, Wildfire, or Spark to good advantage. You also want to take your time while aiming. The enemy does move around a little bit, but it's kind of a set pattern, so just get into the rhythm of it, and you should be able to take out that arm pretty easily. Well, we're all out of AP for Lune, so we'll just use a normal attack. And then with Maelle's turn, we're going to have her use Spark to hit the weakness to fire, as well as burn the enemy. That should be enough damage to take them out at the beginning of its turn. Then we just have to worry about that final death attack. With the Ranger's cannon arm gone, it has to only use melee attacks. They're pretty easy to dodge, but they do come in pretty fast. And here you can see that burn damage did take out the Catapult, and it just comes over and smashes into us. Luckily, it wasn't much damage. Now it's time to take out the Ranger. With Gustav, we'll use Marking Shot to give it the mark. And now with Lune, we're going to use Immolation to hit that weakness to fire, burn it, and we'll do double damage thanks to the mark. That's enough to take him out. Now we just have to dodge that final attack and we'll be moving on. As a reward, we get a new weapon for Lune called the Trebuchim. It's a level 4 weapon. It has a base attack power of 115. It's got a lightning element, and it scales with both vitality and with luck. While I am going to equip this new weapon, I would recommend not equipping it and keeping the Trebuchim. That's because the lightning element of our new Trebuchim is actually resisted by many of the enemies in this area, so you'll actually do less damage with your attacks. But the choice is yours. I'm going to equip it just for a little variety. Now we're going to proceed forward, and you want to stick kind of over toward the left hand side because there's going to be some climbing handholds against the left wall that you can use to climb up to the higher elevation. Now let's proceed forward and then turn right to go down the ramp. We'll then go left, and at the end of this area is a new Pictos for us called Energizing Start 2. We already have Energizing Start 1, and they have the same passive of +1 AP at battle start. The difference is that this one has some higher stats that you get when you actually equip the Pictos. Now let's turn around and head back the way we came, and we'll go up the ramp, and then we'll hop down. Stick over toward the left hand side and go into the cave. When you go in the cave, stick toward the left hand side, just hug that left wall. It'll keep turning around and you'll see an enemy over here that we can fight. This is battle against just one of those catapult enemies. Remember to hit its weak point up on the top left or right side of itself, and you'll be able to destroy it with just 3 shots. With the weak point destroyed, we'll switch back over to using a normal attack with Gustav, which is powered up by his versatile Pictos. And now we're able to use Wildfire with Lune to hit its weakness to fire. Following up on that, Maelle is going to use Spark, once again hitting its weakness to fire, and stacking up more burns, and together that should be enough to take out the enemy, and then all we have to do is to dodge its final attack animation. Let's collect our rewards and then we'll carry on. Just past this enemy at the end of this little area is going to be a new Pictos. This is Attack Lifesteal. We recover 50% health on base attack. We'll turn around to go back out of this little area and then turn toward the left where we can find a golden rope that will take us up. From here we're going to proceed forward, and we can grab an item on the ground just before we drop down. This is the color of Lumina. Now drop down, and this is the same area where we saw the Pétank earlier, so keep over toward the right hand side. We'll run back up the ramp, and then we'll keep circling around toward the right, and we basically just want to go back past where the young boy NPC was and go back into the boss arena on the right. This is where we fought the robust Sakapatate boss fight. If you keep going straight ahead, you're going to run right into the expedition flag. Feel free to rest here if you want to, and then we're going to continue on the path just toward the left of the flag once again. Keep circling over toward the right, and then go back through the crawl space. Last time we were here, we went toward the right. This time we're going left. Keep running along the path, and you'll be in this area with the blue flowers. Starting off, you want to run over toward the left-hand side, go up this little hill, stick toward the left, and grab the nearby color of Lumina.
An advantage.
Now turn around, head back the way that you came into the blue flowers, and stick toward the left. You'll see a hut over here. You want to go inside of it and grab the item. This is a revived Tint shard.
Great.
After you get that, then leave the hut, circle around toward the back of it, and now we're going to go fight the nearby Mime enemy. Like the other Mime fights, it will begin the battle by putting up a wall, meaning we have to break its defenses before we're able to actually do a lot of damage to it. The Mime starts with 3 shields, and we're just going to use our basic attack with all of our party members to break those shields and to gain a little bit more AP. When it's the enemy's turn to attack, I would recommend trying to parry it, just so that we can get some additional AP for our party members, and we'll do a little bit of damage on top of it. Our physical attacks also were able to inflict the defenseless status effect on the Mime. It's now Gustav's second turn, and we're going to use Lumiere Assault in order to build up some overcharge charges.
Let the ink flow.
On Lune's turn, we're going to have her use Immolation in order to light the enemy on fire, causing that burn. And because the enemy's burning, Maelle is going to use Swift Stride to switch her over into Virtuo stance. Once again, the Mime burns, and then I would recommend trying to parry its attacks. Back over to Gustav, and we're going to have him use another Lumiere Assault in order to boost his overcharge gauge all the way up to 10 out of 10. Now with Lune, we can either use one of our immolations to stack some more burn, or we can use Ice Lance to try to slow the enemy down a bit.
Let's spill some ink.
Well, Maelle is in Virtuo stance, and we've got a ton of AP. The enemy is very close to being broken, so we'll use Fleurit Fury in order to break the enemy and do lots of damage. And because we're already in Virtuo stance, we'll stay in Virtuo stance for the next round. It's Gustav's turn. I don't have a lot of AP, but I do have enough to use a marking shot. I probably would recommend doing that, skipping Lune's turn and then using a very powerful Pierce. Probably that would end the fight just like that, but instead I'll use a normal attack with Gustav and then an Immolation with Lune, and then back to Maelle, we can use a Fleurit Fury. But again, it's probably better just to mark the enemy, skip Lune, and then hit it with a very powerful Pierce. With that mark and Virtuo stance together, probably would have been enough to just kill this Mime outright at that point. But our stacked up burns do a ton of damage, and I'm able to parry all of the Mime's attacks, leaving it with only 31 health, and I'm going to do a very unnecessary fully charged overcharge to win the fight. And there goes another Mime. We did it without taking damage, which gives us 20% more experience, enough for Maelle to get up to level 13, and we also get some new outfits for Lune. After that, we're going to turn around and go back the way we came. We want to run past the little hut, stick over toward the right-hand side, go through the little passageway, and then drop down. Before fighting the enemy, go over toward the left-hand side, and there's some boxes stacked up at the end of this area. We can go ahead and interact with them to get some more chroma.
Use that.
Now we'll turn around, go back and toward the left, and now we can fight the enemy in this area. It kind of patrols around a little bit, so just be careful. I'm going to go over toward the right-hand side and defeat it. This is once again a battle against just one of the Catapult Sakapatatas. Starting off with Gustav, we're just going to shoot its weak point a few times to destroy it. They'll do some additional damage to it, and then we'll use a normal physical attack with him. After that, we'll have Lune attack with a fire skill, either Immolation or Wildfire. Now with Maelle, we'll use Spark. That's going to do some more fire damage, increase the amount of burn, and all of that put together should be enough to defeat the enemy, and then we just have to dodge its final attack. Let's get our rewards and then we'll carry on. Pay attention to that glowing blue statue in front of us. We want to run away from it over toward the left to begin. Keep going along this path, and there's another enemy over here. It's a ranger Sakapatate. Let's fight him. Remember that this enemy's weakness is on his shoulder on the cannon arm, so what you want to do is just to kind of take your time and start shooting that weakness. As you continue to do damage to it, he's going to keep moving faster and faster, making it more difficult to actually hit that weak spot. And especially if you're a character on the left side like Gustav, you just don't have a great angle at it. So it might take a couple shots in order to destroy that weak point, but just use your free aim shots followed by physical attacks and you'll start stacking up some damage on him. Once you do blow up the arm, it'll do significant damage to him. And now Maelle, if she's got enough of those free aim shots left, you should probably use Spark, otherwise get him low enough and then just use Offensive Switch. That should be enough to take him down, then just dodge his final attack. Let's collect our rewards, including enough experience for Gustav and Luna to get up to level 14. After the battle, turn around and then you want to run back to that glowing statue in the distance. Now turn left and keep toward the left side of the path.
Ugh, this place is confusing.
They built it to make their village harder to find.
Again, stay toward the left. And now turn right at the statue. And on the left-hand side is going to be an item to pick up. This is a healing Tint shard. Now turn around and take the left path, and you're going to see that there's an enemy over here. Let's go ahead and fight him. This battle is against one robust Sakapatate, which is like the boss that we fought earlier, and the Catapult Sakapatate. Beginning off with that Catapult, we're going to destroy its weak point. And if our aim is good, we can hit the other enemy's weak point on its arm one time. Remember, we have to hit that thing 3 times in order for it to blow off. Now we can use a normal attack with Gustav against the Catapult. And Lune is going to take a couple shots at the robust Sakapatate's weak point and try to destroy it. That's going to take away its remaining shields and do some pretty significant damage to it. Now let's turn our attention back toward the Catapult enemy and we'll use an immolation against it. And now with Maelle, we'll have her use a Spark. All of our direct damage plus the burn damage was enough to kill the Catapult enemy, then we just have to dodge its final attack. We now turn our attention to the robust Sakapatate. Because we destroyed its weapon arm, it only has its shield left. It's still going to try to counterattack us, so be wary of that. Don't try to attack it unless you're ready to be counterattacked, but if you get the timing down, you can dodge those things pretty easily. We'll spend one turn having everyone just pass their turn to gain AP, and then we're going to get into the habit of having Gustav attack, and then that will trigger that counterattack, so be ready to dodge or to parry it. And then we're going to have Lune use Immolation, and we'll have Maelle use Spark. Both of those attacks will hit the weakness to fire, as well as keep stacking up burn damage, and it should only take a couple turns like that in order for you to do enough damage through the raw attack plus the burns in order to defeat the enemy. Then you just have to dodge its final attack. So I'm just going to let it play out as we go through that strategy, and then I'll see you at the end of the fight. This battle will end at the 30-minute mark of the video. We'll do one final attack with Maelle, and then the enemy will be defeated. It's going to do its final attack, and then we'll collect all of our rewards and move on. After the battle, you want to see that there are 2 large wooden statues in this area. You want to run in between them, and there's going to be a little pathway that goes through the trees. Let's go through this, and then we're going to find a golden rope on the other side, and we're going to use that to go down to the lower area. We'll then proceed forward and climb up onto this little ledge. Turn around and then jump to the higher ledge using a running jump. Now run and jump to the other ledge nearby, and keep making your way up all the way to the top. Now we'll move forward, turn left, and on the ground is a paint cage. If you stand right by the paint cage, we want to find the 3 locks. There's going to be one down behind these crates on the ground. There's another one that's located far in the distance in between these trees. And then keep turning toward the left, and you'll see the last one up on the far ledge. After shooting all 3 locks, then we can grab the item inside. This will give us a Chroma Elixir shard, and now we can drop down from the ledge to the ground below, and on our left is going to be another expedition journal. Let's pick it up and have a listen.
63rd, Damien. Damn it! I can't believe we crashed into this. Whatever this massive thing is. So much for Gerald's vaunted reinforced front plates. I can't believe we have to abandon the cars already. We're nowhere close to the paintress. I'll definitely have a concussion. I could have sworn I saw some gestrals running out of that thing. I'm definitely hallucinating. Damn it, Hector. I told you to slow down!
After collecting Expedition Journal 63, we're going to turn toward the left, and we're going to go up this path. If you look in the distance, you'll see that there's some blue lanterns. You want to turn toward the left and then go down this path. Before you get to the expedition flag, turn toward the right, climb up the ledges, and you're going to find a golden rope shortcut that when you enable it is going to allow you to quickly return to those blue statues. But we don't have to go down there right now. Instead, we're going to turn around and go back to the expedition flag. Because we've leveled up fairly recently, we're going to put some more points into our Might attribute. So choose Upgrade Attributes, go through your characters, and then make sure that everyone has those 3 points assigned to Might. This will put Gustav at 42 points, Maelle will be at 39 points, and Lune is going to be at 42 points. After that, we're going to teach Lune a new skill, so go to Learn Skills, scroll over to her, and now we're going to choose Mayhem, which is the skill located kind of at the bottom of this big open box in the middle of her chart, and this skill will consume all stains to deal high elemental damage to the target, and it can break if 4 stains are consumed. Now we have to assign this skill because we don't have enough slots. I'm going to remove Earth Rising, and I'm going to put Mayhem in its place. So now Lune has Immolation, Ice Lance, Thunderfall, Wildfire, Mayhem, and Electrify. Once you're all set up, go ahead and leave the menu. We've got a boss fight just ahead, so make sure that you rest and everyone is in top form, and then we're going to keep on going toward the left of the expedition flag. As you run around the corner to the right, you'll get another cutscene, and then the boss battle will begin.
Ultimate weapon! Kava umano. Bogi bogi, ultimate Sakapatate. Ebogobo, fighto. Odin, Roku.
They sound like kids.
We must be getting close to the village.
Engage! What you do? What? Ultimate creazione!
Kinda looks the same as all the others.
Dominare pochi, invisible. Chimico no si chiama invisible.
Hey, don't get cocky, Maelle. Look at its equipment. That looks a lot more dangerous than the others. No, seriously.
Now we have a boss fight against Ultimate Sakapatate. It begins the fight by doing a 2-hit swing, and then it's a jump attack that we can counter. This guy is basically all the other enemies of this area put together. Starting off with Gustav, we're going to use Luminaire Assault to start charging up our overcharge. And now with Lune, even though this enemy will resist lightning damage, we can still use Electrify to give ourselves 2 stains. And with Maelle, we're going to have her use Spark in order to light the enemy on fire. When the enemy slams the ground, there's a little bit of a delay to this, so you'll kind of see it go into slow motion before it attacks, and that's the time to try to dodge. And when he attacks with his dead partner, it's 2 attacks followed by a jump and a counter. The boss can also raise its shield and prepare for a counter attack. The enemy does have a weak point that we can shoot and cause to explode, but it's naturally protected by that shield, and you have to break the enemy's guard first before that weak point becomes exposed and we can attack it. We'll have Gustav use Marking Shot in order to give the enemy a mark. We'll pass Lune's turn, and then it's going to be Maelle's turn. Now, because the enemy is burning, we're going to use Swift Stride, and we're going to switch ourselves over into Virtuose Stance. The shield slam is pretty easy to dodge, just don't get faked out by that initial spin that it does before it actually attacks. And then when it uses its cannons, you want to dodge as soon as the barrels glow brightly. That's the indication that it's about to shoot, and it will do that 3 times in a row. And then it repeats that process. It can do another shield slam followed by another cannon attack. So it really does 2 attacks per turn that it gets, and it got 2 turns in a row for a total of 4 attacks in a row. Just get ready to dodge or to parry those. Now it's back to Gustav's turn. We have a full overcharge meter and enough AP for overcharge, but we're not going to do that. Instead, we'll use a Marking Shot. Now I want to show off something with the Mayhem skill that we unlocked for Lune. You'll see that we only have 2 stains right now, and the Mayhem attack gets stronger if we use more stains. So right now we're going to use it, and even with a mark with 2 stains, it barely does any damage at all. And we'll contrast that at the end of the fight, and we'll see just how much damage we can do with 4 total stains. Now with Maelle, we're kind of in a weird situation because if we use Per Se, it's not boosted in power because the enemy isn't marked anymore, but using Fleur Fury is probably going to break the enemy, which is good, but not if it's going to be right before the enemy's turn because he's only going to recover and then he'll put his shield back up. We want to get to the point where we are able to break him and then we have some turns to destroy his weak point. Because of that, I held off on using Fleur Fury and I just used Per Se, and then when it gets to be Gustav's turn, because we've got enough AP and we've got the full overcharge meter, we're able to actually break his guard and then immediately go into shooting with Lune, and then we can break his weak point, and then that's going to be very advantageous to us. So like I said, now Gustav's going to break the enemy's guard with an overcharge. Now that the enemy is broken and stunned, it's going to be Lune's turn, and we can use our free aim mode to attack his shoulder that's normally guarded by that shield, and 3 shots into the shoulder will cause it to explode, and now the shield isn't a worry for us anymore. Now with Lune, we've got a couple options. If we wanted to use up that fire stain that we have, we could use Electrify, but instead what I would recommend is using Immolation, and then that will also fill up that last remaining stain spot, and we're going to light the enemy on fire. And that really paves the way for Maelle's next turn. When the enemy is burning, we can use Swift Stride to put her back into Virtuose Stance, and then when her turn comes around again, we'll be ready to do even more damage. Now because the enemy lost its shield and the associated cannons, it's also going to change up its attack pattern a little bit once it releases its full power. Now it can do a Catapult attack from its back, but these are pretty easy to dodge as well. Also, destroying the weak point and its shield also means that it's only using 1 attack per turn instead of 2 attacks against us. Let's have Gustav use another marking shot to give the enemy a mark, and then we're going to dodge the enemy's ground slam. With Lune's turn, we're just going to pass her turn so that Maelle can attack the marked target. Now, if I were to use Per Se, it'd probably do enough damage to seriously hurt this enemy, and I don't want to kill him just yet because I want to show off that Mayhem at full power, so instead I'm just going to use Fleurette Fury. It's the enemy's turn again, so we'll just dodge its attack. Gustav will use another marking shot.
Take him down.
And now we've got 4 stains with Lune. Let's go ahead and use that Mayhem to take him out. If possible, I like to end boss battles in kind of a big, grandiose, and cinematic way, and I think that Mayhem's attack looks pretty cool and accomplishes that just fine. And there goes another boss in a fiery explosion. We get enough experience for all of our characters to level up, and we also got a new Pictos called Breaker, which gives 25% increased break damage.
Sakapatate garbage! Mello pollo! Chef Sammy luppe kamative!
Chef,
Gorla! Lumma vria faitor! Kottara Gestral kamivori o pinna! Gorla femikola nissu! Poki!
After the boss fight and the cutscene, we get a new trophy called Ancient Sanctuary for making it through the Ancient Sanctuary zone. And before you run straight ahead through the portal and go back out onto the world map, there are a couple items that we want to get in this area. So starting off, we're going to turn toward the left and we're going to run up the hill in the distance. In the back of this area is going to be an item that we can grab.
Great.
This is a color of Lumina. And now we'll turn around and run all the way back across the boss arena and go up the other hill. Head over to the back by the statues, and there's going to be another item on the ground. Let's pick this one up, and we get an energy tint shard. And one more thing that we can do is we can go a little bit toward the right and then go down into this crawl space. We'll go all the way through this tunnel, and in the back is going to be a new Pictos for us. Keep over to the right. And now we're going to pick up the Stun Boost Pictos, giving us a 30% increased damage to stunned targets. Now we're going to leave through the crawl space once again. And after going through the crawl space, we're going to stick over toward the right hand side. And we'll run through the portal. Once we're out onto the world map, we're going to run forward, but don't go into the portal leading into the nearby village. Instead, stick over toward the right hand side running past this torch, and we can grab the item on the ground amongst the boxes here. This is a color of Lumina. And now once you have that, we can head over toward the left and go into the portal, and that will take us into our next destination, the Gestral Village, where there's a lot that we can do. Once you get inside, run forward and you can use the expedition flag. Because we leveled up fairly recently, let's go ahead and use the upgrade attributes option. We're going to put all of our points into might once again, so Gustav will get up to 45 points. Maelle will get up to 42 points. And Lune will also get up to 45 points. After that, go ahead and rest. And then we can leave the expedition flag and start heading over toward the left. And now we'll run straight down this path.
It's really a village of Gestrals.
They seem better at surviving than humans.
I guess intelligence is not a prerequisite for survival on the continent. Now to find the chief's house. probably the biggest one.
We don't want to go into the chief's house, instead we want to turn left and go into the Gestral Bazaar, and we're going to go to the first stall on the left and talk to the Gestral behind the table. Isn't this stuff amazing? No, it's useless. At first it's amazing, then it's useless. Alright, have a good day. Pleasure doing business with you. I think a beatdown is in order. Oh, hello good humans, how do you do? Enjoying the Gestral Bazaar? It's okay. Great, I'm glad our eagerness for battle hasn't scared you away. Why? Are you desperate for clients? Oh, no, I have plenty of clients. They're just dead. Haha. Anyway, I have some useful items for you. For us. Yes, whether it's weapons or Pictos, I cater to your every need. My name is Jujubree, and I proudly announce that the expedition shop is back in business. He's got some good stuff for sale, but first we're going to choose to fight the merchant by holding down the square button, and we'll choose Maelle as our expeditioner combatant. We now have a one-on-one duel between Maelle and the Gestral merchant Jujubree. As you can see, his attacks don't hurt too bad, so this is a pretty easy fight. On our first round, we're going to have Maelle use Spark in order to light him on fire. Now on our second turn, we're going to have her use Swift Stride. And now on our third turn, we're going to use Per Se. And there you go, the fight's over when the burn damage takes him out. We're going to collect our rewards and then carry on. I got destroyed! I have stuff you might want to buy. Trade. Because we beat the merchant, we can purchase a new weapon for Gustav called the Demonam for 4,002 Chroma. And we're also going to buy most of the other items that he sells. We won't buy the Recoat because we don't need it and it's very expensive, but we're going to purchase the Chroma Catalyst, the Polished Chroma Catalyst, the Color of Lumina, and a new Pictos on the bottom called Critical Moment for 5,520 Chroma, giving us a 50% increased critical chance if health is below 30%. Now before you go anywhere, you want to talk to the same merchant again. What a weird looking Pictos you have here. Could you show it to me for a second? You hand the weird Pictos to Jujubree. You see, I found a similar Pictos not too long ago. Let me see if... Haha! I think it's complete now. No need to thank me, hee. And now our Augmented Aim Pictos upgraded from level 3 to level 5. Now let's go into our menu and we're going to swap some things around. Starting off with Gustav, we're going to switch his Sakarum weapon for the new Demonam weapon. Not only does it do a lot more base damage, but it also has the light element and it scales with defense and agility. Now let's have a look at our Pictos. We've collected a lot of new Pictos recently and we want to start equipping them so that we can do 4 battles with them equipped and thus master them in order to share them with our other party members. Augmented Aim was already mastered, but I'm going to replace Dodger with it. I'm then going to swap out Augmented Attack for Critical Moment, and then I'm going to put Burning Mark on where Versatile was. Now let's go over to Maelle. We can replace Exposing Attack with Energizing Start 2. I'll replace Energizing Break with Cleansing Tint. And then Augmented Counter 1 can get replaced by Breaker. Now we'll go over to Lune, and we're only going to replace Staggering Attack with Stun Boost. I'm going to leave Rewarding Mark and Dead Energy 2 on her, but if you really wanted to, you could swap out Rewarding Mark and Dead Energy 2 for Attack, Lifesteal, and Energizing Jump, just to make sure that you're mastering all of the Pictos at the same time. Now let's go ahead and leave the menu, and we're going to keep traveling down further into the bazaar along the path, and we're going to talk to the big blue Gestral on the left. Lumierans! Too bad Moshi's in hibernation. Moshi loved expeditioners, knew more than anyone else about them. I got Moshi's notes somewhere if you're interested. Incredible writings and relics of a mysterious group of beings. I believe they are the ones Verso referred to as Lumierans. They are not a myth. Though my searching days are long past, I am grateful to all the new searchers who helped this old Gestral add to this marvelous and definitive collection of Lumieran writings. Moshi the Searcher, year 43. Fascinating. I want to reassemble the book for Ol Moshi. You lot have been traveling around, yeah? You seen any of these writings? Actually, show the expedition journals. Fabulous! Let me copy these. If you find more, save me a copy, will ya? Oh, but I'm not sure we'll be back anytime soon. Don't worry, I'll wait. So now, as we collect expedition journals, if we come back and deliver them to him, we'll get rewards. Now let's go a little bit further on and talk to the very large Gestral. Welcome. You humans might be interested in a very special weapon, Excalibur, the sword that surpasses all swords and shoots lasers. What do you say? 1,000 chroma and it could be yours. I'm paying. Didn't think you'd be interested in a kid's weapon. And now we bought a wooden stick. Let's turn around and we're going to run up the wooden path. When you get up to the top, there's going to be some boxes in the way. You can either just jump over them or you can destroy them. Keep going up the path and go through these boxes. We'll keep going up the walkway, destroy some more boxes. And now we can finally grab some chroma at the top of this area.
This will be useful.
Now let's turn around and make our way all the way back down to the ground. Once you're at the bottom, turn toward the left and go down this path. Give us all your belongings. They're ours now. A shakedown? You don't know how to pick your marks, do you? Oh, we know. Our marks are the people with fat pockets. Heh, wrong. Looks like we're about to give you guys a lesson. Now we have a fight against another one of the Gestral merchants. This is Eesda. Unlike the last fight, we actually get all 3 of our party members now. Starting off, Gustav is going to use a marking shot to inflict a mark on the enemy.
Take him down.
Lune is going to use immolation to light the enemy on fire. Because the enemy's burning, Maelle can use Swift Stride to go into Virtuo stance. We'll dodge the enemy's attack again. Gustav will use another marking shot. Lune will skip her turn. And now Maelle can use a per se, and we should be able to win because we're in Virtuo stance and the enemy is marked. Maelle got enough experience to hit level 15, and we'll continue along with the scene. Ow, that hurts. Okay, we're sorry. Just for you, we'll trade the things we have. You can even pay with chroma. Spare us, please. Hey, pretty convenient. After that scene, we'll go forward and we're going to talk to the Gestral with the blue hair. Please, take a look at our stuff, strong one. Trade. Now we can buy a new weapon, the Sekarum, for 4,830 chroma. Unfortunately, we're getting a little bit low on chroma here, so we can't purchase Healing Mark. We'll come back and purchase that when we have some more chroma. Goodbye. The Sekarum has 175 base power, no element, and it scales with both vitality and agility. Now this Sekarum is definitely an upgrade to what we currently have, so we're going to equip it, but by the end of this video, we're also going to get one of, if not the, best weapon for Maelle in the whole game, and we'll get it absolutely free. But for now, we're going to turn around, go back to the main path, and then over toward the left. Turn left as you get past this very large Gestral on our left, and then run straight ahead and you'll see some of those large Sakapatate enemies. In between them is going to be a very small Gestral merchant. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Yahoo! I can sell stuff! You got Chroma, yeah? We'll say trade. Unlike other merchants where you have to fight them, some of them require you to do a little quest for them, like find an expeditioner, so we can't buy his best item just yet. If you wanted to, you could spend the extra Chroma to buy the 2 outfits, the Sakapatate and the Gestral, but we're going to hold off on that right now just because we're a little bit low on Chroma and I want to save it. Now let's leave this menu. Love me this job. And now we're going to turn over toward the right and talk to the very tall Gestral standing next to this leaning pillar. No, my patata! Someone please help them down. We'll turn over toward the right and run kind of back the way we came by this large torch. We're going to turn toward the left. And then as we go down the path, there'll be a branch going over toward the right. Let's take that branch. And now we'll find a gold rope that will take us up. We're going to turn left and we're going to go forward until we can use a grapple point to get across this gap. Turn toward the right and go up the ramp. And now we'll turn left and use the handholds to go across the wall. Now we can drop down, go a little bit further, and then climb up. And at the end of this path, we can take a running jump to get to where the little guy is, and we'll talk to him. I'm not coming down. Okay. Thank you. This little patata was just reborn the other day. They're still a little thick-headed. You've also earned yourself a trip to the arena, patata. Huh? And our reward for doing that is a new outfit for Lune. You can see the large Sakapatate enemies in the distance. Let's run over by them. Luckily, we don't have to fight them. And now we're going to stick over toward the right-hand side. We can keep hugging the right wall and go back to the back corner. There's going to be an item on the ground that you can see pretty easily. Let's go ahead and grab this. It's a color of Lumina. And now we can turn around and we're going to go kind of back the way we came. You can either hug the left-hand side or you can just run over by these large enemies and then you can just climb your way up. Let's head back toward the leaning pillar and the very tall Gestral, and we're going to turn over toward the left. In the distance, you'll see a sign that says Arena off to the right. You want to go to the sign, but don't go right. Instead, go just toward the left of that, and there's going to be a very narrow walkway that will take you toward the back area, and there's another expedition journal on the ground. Let's pick it up and have a listen.
Teo. 52nd Expedition. Man, I could barely think straight. Hulking Gestral broke my skull. What the fuck kind of friendly fight was that? Oh, I'm bleeding out, but their medic is bloody useless. He just keeps telling me about his bone problems. But I'm gonna die here, aren't I?
Now that we have Expedition Journal number 52, let's go ahead and turn around, and then we're going to kind of loop around that arena sign, and we're actually going to go over toward the arena. As we head down the path, we'll stick over toward the right. We're not going to go into this arena. Instead, we want to go just to the left of it where we can find another expedition flag. Let's go ahead and use it. We can choose to upgrade our attributes. And it looks like Maelle is able to have 3 more points put into Might, raising her total up to 45. After that, feel free to rest if you want to. And now we're going to leave the expedition flag and we'll turn toward the left. Let's run down the path ahead of us, and there's going to be a large square-shaped door. We'll go through that, up to where the Gestrals are fighting, turn toward the right, and continue down the path until we get to an intersection. At this point, we'll turn toward the left, and there's going to be an item on the ground here on these stairs. Let's pick it up. This is a Recoat. Now we'll turn left and run down this long walkway in between all of these torches. And we want to interact with the door at the very end of it. Hey, Expeditioner. Do you like to gamble? Yes. I knew it. I saw it in your eyes. If you're really the gambling type, you should be able to answer this correctly. Let's say that every time I hit, I have a 50% chance of dealing 100% more damage. What are my chances of dealing more damage in the long run? The correct answer is option 4, I don't care. Correct! It doesn't matter because it just makes things more thrilling. A true gambler at heart. Here, take this as a sign of our eternal friendship. Now we get a really interesting Pictos called Roulette. Every hit has a 50% chance to deal either 50% or 200% damage. Now let's turn around and run all the way down this very long walkway. When you get to the end, turn toward the left and go down the path. Let's go through the door in front of us, and that will take us into a very large theater area with a stage over on the left. We'll proceed over by the stage, but before you get close, there's going to be another Gestral merchant here. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Stila. Huh? What I meant to say is, what a fashionable ensemble. I have some stylish pieces for sale, very a la mode. Come take a peek. We'll choose trade, and unfortunately we can't purchase anything yet because we've got to do one of those find an expeditioner quests. So we'll just leave, and now we're going to make our way toward the stage, but we're going to keep over toward the left hand side where we can see a golden rope that we can use to get up to the upper catwalk. Now that we're at the top, turn toward the right, go along the path, and we can grab some chroma.
An advantage.
Now let's go back the way we came and use the golden rope to get back down to the ground. Now let's go behind the stage, and there's another item that we can get. We can blow our way through these crates, and we'll grab some more chroma back here.
Nice.
Now we'll turn around and we're going to go back out in front of the stage. We're going to run up past that merchant that we talked to a moment ago. And then we're going to go through the door on the right. Straight ahead, there's going to be a Gestral who's laying down and is preventing us from getting the item back there. So we'll go just to the left and then use free aim mode to shoot the mirror in the background. I was having a nice little nap on my stairs. You better not have woken me up just so you can steal in my house. And in fact, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's steal the chroma.
This will be useful.
And now as we try to walk away, we're going to have to fight this large Gestral. Luckily, this is another very easy fight for us.
Lune, watch out.
Starting off, Gustav is going to use Marking Shot.
Take him down.
Let the ink flow.
Lune can use Immolation to light him on fire. Maelle can then use Swift Stride to go into Virtuo Stance. Gustav will use another marking shot.
Let the ink flow.
We can skip Lune's turn, and we'll use a per se to win the fight. Let's collect our rewards, and then we'll carry on. Ow, ow, wow. Okay, okay. You beat me all right. Now please leave. I want to be alone. Let's turn around, leave the house, and then we'll keep going straight until we get back into that large theater area. We'll then turn toward the right, and we'll see a sign in the distance that says turn back. We'll ignore that sign and go through the nearby gate, and we'll go all the way toward the back of this area where we'll see a strange looking door. We can interact with the door, and that will take us back to the manor. Once you arrive, we're going to turn toward the right, and we're going to examine this statue nearby. Now let's go a little bit further down this path, and we can interact with the pot. Now turn around, go to the far table, and you can interact with this candlestick. Now that door is locked, but what we can do is turn left, and we can drop down through this new hole in the floor. Once we're down here, we can go past this Gestral who's lying down, and we can go through the hole in the wall. If we go toward the right-hand side, we can go through these boxes that are blocking this crawl space. Once you go through there, there's going to be an item in the back corner. Let's go ahead and pick this up. It's a new hairstyle for Maelle. Now if you want to, you can go up these stairs, and then you can unlock the door at the top. There's nothing that we have to do in this room, however, so we can just turn around and leave. We'll head back downstairs, go back through that crawl space, and we'll stick toward the right-hand side, and amongst all these boxes is another item that we can pick up. This is a shape of energy. Now we're going to go up the nearby stairs, and at the top we'll open the door. Now let's run across this room and go through the door on the opposite side. We're right at the entrance of the manor, so you can use that expedition flag if you want to. Otherwise, just go through the door and you'll be back inside the Gestral Village. Now let's keep running straight ahead until we get back to that theater area. We'll turn toward the left and go down the path. We've now made it back toward the entrance of the Gestral Village. We'll see the Gestral Bazaar straight ahead of us. We want to turn toward the right and go into the chief house. We'll run toward the back and talk to the chief. So you're the warriors who demolished our ultimate Sakapatate.
It wasn't that strong.
I see. Well, you've earned my respect. What can I do for you? Are you the chef? I am indeed the chef of our village. The name is Galgra.
There are so many questions I'd love to ask.
We need to get to the paintress. Noko said you could help us cross the sea.
Humans, still so obsessed with the paintress.
Others have passed through here.
A few of your expeditions, every few years, hard to keep track. Do you not have your own boat? How did you get here in the first place?
A white-haired man destroyed it.
And you survived? My respect.
You know him?
He attacked the village once. Some of us survived, somehow.
Okay.
Okay, you have no boat. In that case, your best bet is Esquier. If you ask nicely, maybe Esquier can take you across the water.
So Esquier exists.
Of course, Esquier lives not far from here. But only the greatest warriors are allowed through. You need a password.
Why?
Esquier is very friendly, but Esquier could also accidentally eat you. Esquier doesn't know its own strength sometimes. It would be quite irresponsible to let weaklings visit Esquier.
We already defeated your ultimate Sakapatate.
Not good enough. You'll have to enter our legendary tournament to get the password. This is the Gestral way. You will be fighting our legendary warriors. They're old, so it should be easy. Either option is fine here. I'll say, what is this tournament? Now I'm excited. Let's see what you can do. Oh, and you'll also fight the stranger. Yeah, that'll be fun.
The stranger?
Okay, enough talk. Go fight now. Do you want to go to the arena directly, or do you want to beat up a few Gestrals around here first? Take us to the arena. That's the Gestral spirit.
Lead the way.
Guess we have to enter the tournament now. If you want to, use the expedition flag over on the left, otherwise you can talk to the large Gestral straight ahead of you. The tournament has begun. Find Lemon Soul if you want to sign up. You can find him over there. Let's turn toward the right and talk to the Gestral. You want to register for the tournament? You're talking to the right Gestral. So far, we've got signups from 3 of our legendary champions and a mysterious new warrior. Did I mention the prize is a powerful weapon? So how about it? Count us in. Oh ho, I appreciate the enthusiasm. Unfortunately, in the arena, it's one-on-one fights only. No worries though, I'll sign you up as a team. Just decide before each fight who gets the honor of getting beat up. Got it. Alright, you're all signed up. Your opponent is one of our legendary champions. Bertrand Big Hands. Who's gonna go fight? For all of these fights, we're going to choose Maelle, and that's very important. Maelle it is, I hope you're ready. Now we have our first fight against Bertrand Big Hands. On our first turn, we're going to use the skill Spark to light the enemy on fire. You should try to dodge or parry all of the attacks. On round 2, we're going to use Swift Stride to put us into Virtuose stance. And now with the combination of the burn damage, our normal attacks, and finally a per se, we're able to take out Bertrand Big Hands in just 3 turns. After the fight, we'll get our rewards, and we'll move on. You won, wow! Next time won't be so easy, I'm sure. We'll talk to the Gestral again. Your opponent is one of our legendary champions. Dominique Giant Feet. Who's gonna go fight? Once again, we'll choose Maelle. Maelle it is, I hope you're ready. Now we have a fight against Dominique Giant Feet. This fight's gonna be a lot like the last one, a different attack pattern to be sure, but we're going to attack in the same manner. So starting off on round 1, we'll use Spark. We'll then dodge or parry the attack. On round 2, we use Swift Stride to go into Virtuose stance. We'll dodge another attack. And now on round 3, we'll use Per Se to win the fight. After that, we're gonna keep on going. You won! Wow! Next time won't be so easy, I'm sure. We'll talk to the Gestral again. Your opponent is one of our legendary champions, Matthew the Colossus. Who's gonna go fight? Again, choose Maelle. Maelle it is. I hope you're ready. Now I have a fight against Matthew the Colossus. This is going to follow the same pattern as the other 2 fights. Just be sure to dodge the attacks or parry them. On round 1, we'll use Spark. On round 2, we'll use Swift Stride. And on round 3, we'll use Per Se to win. That was the third of 3 normal fights. Now we'll move on to the final stage. You won, wow. Next time won't be so easy, I'm sure. Talk to the Gestral again. You'll be fighting against the mysterious new warrior. I hope you're prepared, otherwise the prize will go to them. Who's gonna go fight? Once again, very important to choose Maelle to get one of her best weapons. Good luck!
Uno now, Baka Kiko Pao, destroyed Sakapatato, our region, save us ranger.
Wait, that's...
Sciel?
What? How? You guys? You're alive! I thought I was the only one left. I knew you were resourceful. How did you get here?
E umano, Sara ki potura ki masano, ki mano faito, ronda faito kenobi.
They're expecting a bit of a show. Shall we?
And our final fight is against Sciel. Now you'd think that this would be the toughest fight of all of them, but it's actually the quickest and the easiest one. On our first round, we're going to use Spark to light Sciel on fire. Sciel can use a move called Rush, which gives her a status effect called Rush. It's a buff that increases the speed of the character by 33%. That means she'll take more turns. That's not a bad thing though, because an enemy that's burning and has more turns will just take more burn damage. Sciel also does very little damage to us, so we basically have no shot at losing this unless we really try to. The burn damage was enough to take her out with just 2 turns, and now we'll be moving on, and we also get one of the best weapons in the whole game for Maelle. Maelle wins. The Gestrals offer their champion a special weapon.
Well, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it really just felt like beating old people.
So it wasn't so bad.
Am I one of those old people?
One day, I hope. Hey, how'd you end up here?
Oh, after the beach, I ended up in an odd yellow forest. Not too far from here. Had to dodge a few Nevrons, but luckily I met a Gestral who guided me here. What about you?
Well, I woke up next to a waterfall and...
We can talk later. Let's get back to Golga.
No time to lose.
At this point, you're offered the opportunity to play through Sciel's tutorial, only accessible at this time. I would recommend that you go ahead and say yes to this so that we can learn how to play as Sciel and her special battle mechanics. We're automatically put into a battle against Dominique Giant Feet. They get the first attack, so just try to dodge it, and now we'll get the tutorial. Sciel can apply and consume Foretell on enemies, 10 max per enemy. Skills that apply Foretell generate sun charges. Skills that consume Foretell generate moon charges. Let's go ahead and go into the skills menu. Sciel's starting skills are Focused Foretell and Twilight Slash. Focused Foretell applies 5 Foretell and generates 1 sun charge. Start by using Focused Foretell to apply Foretell and gain 1 sun charge.
Take your shot.
Using Focus Foretell has given 1 sun charge and applied 5 Foretell. Sciel gets bonus effects while a sun charge or a moon charge is active. Sun charge gives us 1 AP per Foretell consumed, and moon charge is a gain 1 AP per Foretell applied. Let's go ahead and go back into the skills menu. Twilight Slash consumes all Foretell on the target to increase its damage. It also generates 1 moon charge. Focus Foretell applies 5 Foretell to the target. Since Sciel already has 1 sun charge, casting Twilight Slash will give her back 5 AP. Use Twilight Slash to consume Foretell, gain 5 AP, and generate 1 moon charge. So let's use Twilight Slash on the enemy.
I see the future.
Take your shot.
At the start of her turn, if Sciel has both a moon and sun charge, she consumes them to enter Twilight for 2 turns. During Twilight, Sciel applies double Foretell. The maximum amount of Foretell per enemy is increased from 10 to 20. Damage is increased depending on the number of sun and moon charges consumed. Try to make the best use of Twilight to maximize Foretell application and damage. Let's go ahead and go into the skills menu. And now we can use Focus Foretell to apply 10 Foretell to the enemy at once. Now let's go into the skills menu again, and we're going to use Twilight Slash to consume those 10 stacks of Foretell, and we're also doing plus 50% damage because we're in Twilight mode, and that should be enough to easily finish off the enemy. Unfortunately, we don't get any experience, but we do get a little bit of Chroma as a reward. Now let's go forward and we'll talk to Galgra.
You
return as champions. Well done, well done. Okay, then you ready? The password is...
Get out of my way!
Get out of my way.
The password is get out of my way.
Very gestralish.
Eske's nest is east of the village. Saniso guards that path. Shout the password as loud as you can, and Saniso will let you through.
As loud as we can. Got it.
Thank you for everything.
Try not to die too soon.
Gestral positivity is so heartwarming.
One more thing. We've opened the back door for you. It'll be easier to come back and visit us.
Thanks, Chef.
You definitely don't want to provoke Galgra to a duel because we're just not ready for that yet, so we'll choose to leave. We now have our 4th party member, Sciel, and we're all done with the Gestral Village, so let's turn around and leave the chief's house. We'll keep running straight ahead. And when you get down toward the bottom of the ramp, then turn toward the right and go back out through the portal. And as you do that, we'll get our next trophy called Gestral Village for going through the Gestral Village area. We then find ourselves back at camp. There's a couple interesting things that are going to happen while at camp. The first thing that we want to do is to walk forward, and we're going to interact with the campfire, and we're going to choose the last option on the list right in the journal of Gustave's apprentices. Gustave finds a spot where he can be alone. He spends some time writing in his journal. He writes about gestrals. He knows how happy his apprentices will be to learn that they exist. He hopes that one day his apprentices will read everything he wrote.
For those who come after.
Gustave heads back. Now we'll check up on the others.
You okay? You've been quiet since we left the village.
Yeah, sorry. Just bad memories.
Wanna talk about it?
No.
No.
I'm glad you're here.
I would never abandon a member of Aquafarm 3.
Aquafarm 3.
Aquafarm 3.
It was so long ago. You and Sophie were inseparable on that project.
Yeah, we were.
That was a good project. It fed so many neighborhoods at once. Kind of nostalgic thinking back. We really thought we were making a difference.
Hey, we're still making a difference.
Yes. Of course.
Yeah.
Now that we're back by the campfire, let's go ahead and use it, and we're going to choose to go to sleep, and that will kick off another cutscene.
I can't believe it. We're gonna meet the Esquier. The Gestrals and Esquier. The tales are true.
Do you feel something?
Good for you to see this. Yes, I understand. It's her fault and she doesn't even know it, but you can't be here.
What are you talking about? What's my fault? What is this?
You should never have come. You're only going to make things worse for everyone. Now take your friends and go home. Let them spend their final year in peace. This is your only warning.
I can't wait to see.
Mayhem?
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Same. I saw you. The white-haired man and this woman.
What did you see? Maelle, breathe. Slow down. What did you see? Think carefully. Every detail could be important.
He said we need to go home and that it's my fault. And that I'm gonna make things worse for everyone. You were all frozen. I couldn't. It was like a waking nightmare.
It's okay.
What else? You said there was a woman. Lune, maybe later.
She had a mask, and
I know this is hard, but I need you to focus, okay? While the details are fresh.
Lune, ask her tomorrow. Hey, breathe. Listen to me. You're safe, do you understand? Okay? It's over.
After the cutscene, we find ourselves back out onto the world map. We're going to proceed forward and we're going to stick toward the left path.
Feeling better?
yeah.
We can debrief along the way. Let's head east to Eskier's nest.
As Lune just mentioned, we're going to continue heading toward the east until we can get to Eskier's nest. Now we'll go around these trees and continue heading toward the east. In the distance, you'll see a large portal, but we're not going to go through it just yet. Instead, we're going to stop just before then and talk to the lost Gestral. Huh? What, me? I'm not lost at all. Though I should get back to Sastro sometime soon. You seem pretty lost to me. Yeah, I'm lost. I need to get Sastro, but it isn't exactly safe here. You can stay at our camp if you like. Really? Yes! See you back at the camp, and I'll call for Sastro in the meantime. That is the first of 9 lost Gestrals that we have to collect. Now we're going to run forward and we're going to go through the large portal into Eskier's nest. Once we get inside Eskier's nest, we're going to proceed forward along the path and we're going to stick over toward the left-hand side until we get to the expedition flag. And this is where we're going to end part 4. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button as it really helps me out, and consider subscribing to join our amazing community and so that you can stay up to date with the rest of the videos in this series. I'll see you soon in part 5. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.